All right, here it is. The cheapest tractor I could find. I actually wasn't even in the market for one of these, but for $500, we'll give it a go. I went to the guy's house, it's actually my boss, to buy this trailer. We were talking and he's like, I'd like to sell this tractor too. So I gave him $500. I got the hitch haul attachment thing, carry all, whatever you want to call it. There's tire chains in that bucket. There's some extra front weights up there. Back blade, finish mower. Austin wants to use the finish mower or buy the finish mower or whatever. So, but the back blade and the carry all would be nice to have. And this thing can run my 4-foot brush hog a lot better than my Kubota anyway. So for now, probably not a permanent fixture, but the price was right. So we'll see what we can do with this thing. All right, when I got this thing, he told me it was leaking oil out of the bell housing. So I just assumed, you know, rear main seal, it's gonna need split. Whatever, not a big deal. Then when I loaded it on the trailer, I was looking, I think I can pull the engine out without splitting it, which, I mean, either way, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But he told me it's not engine oil, it's hydraulic oil. And I'm like, what? Are you sure it's not gear oil? He's like, no, it's hydraulic oil. And it's coming out over here. Well, your hydraulic pump's up front, and this is your hydraulic line. So I'm wondering if this line don't have a pinhole in the back side of it. It feels okay, but I wonder if it doesn't have a pinhole in the back side and it's, you know, spraying out against the bell housing maybe, or otherwise it would have to be engine oil or gear oil, I would say. So I'm going to empty all this stuff off the trailer with the help of the cat here, and see if we can get this thing fired up and see what is actually going on, and then we'll kind of formulate a plan for there. All right, I got the trailer emptied. Let's see what this thing's got for fuel and other liquids. It's got a stupid strainer in it. Got about a half a tank of fuel. Doesn't smell super fresh, but it's not too bad. He told me he always ran non-ethanol gas in it. So we'll try and start it on that, and if it doesn't start, we'll have to look into that. But he just did a tune-up on it and an oil change, he said. New plug wires and cap. The plug wires look newer. If you can see in there, it looks pretty dry, but he definitely must have just done an oil change, because the oil looks like brand new. It's a tad low, but not too bad. Figure out where we do the hydraulic oil, and we'll try that. So I see there's a sight glass here, and you can't really get a good look at it, but it's in the sight glass for sure. I don't see any dipsticks or anything. So we'll get a battery and see if we get this thing to fire up. ready. Unload this thing and try it out. Alright, I didn't take it on too long of a test drive because it's a little low on oil and a little low on antifreeze. But I'm going to call it a success. I see nothing leaking where he said it was leaking. So, it's daylight savings time and it's short days, so got to get my chores done before it gets dark here. But tomorrow we'll top the oil, the antifreeze off, run this thing a little bit. And if there's no problems, we'll take it down to the farm, hook the brush hog on it, and give it a try, see what happens. Alright, so I stopped to check my mail on a test drive. I left the driveway and went to the mailbox and made a loop and back in my driveway. I thought for certain that that thing wasn't leaking. I didn't notice it leaking when I was driving, but apparently it was. Alright, so upon a further inspection, I did not crawl under this thing while it was running, only while it was shut off. And it was not dripping anything excessive last night when I shut it off. This morning there's a little, I guess it's this afternoon, but there's a little mark on the ground there. Nothing crazy. And but I am pretty sure it's engine oil. So rear main seal, that makes a little more sense to me. I had contemplated, I thought about maybe I could just pull the motor up out of here, but honestly, it's probably way easier just to split this thing. So I'm gonna take it up to my buddy Curtis's. He's got a lot more room in his garage right now, so mine's full of stuff that's stored for winter. But take it up to Curtis's, and I think it's gonna be easier to just split it than pull the engine. The hardest part's probably going to be the exhaust. So, and it doesn't look like it's too bad. It should come unbolted without too much trouble. Little heat. Bell housing. These main frame rails. I'm sure we'll have to unhook the hydraulic lines. A little bit of wiring. Nothing crazy, but regardless, I think that splitting this thing is going to be easier than actually just pulling the motor up out. So we'll get it up there, get it apart, see if we can get this thing fixed. All right, we're gonna get the exhaust pulled off, battery cable, these hydraulic lines. That's probably gonna be the worst part. And then pull the starter, the bell housing bolts, those 4 bolts out of the frame. We should be able to hold the front up, slide the back backwards, I'm hoping. See what happens. All right, about halfway through the splitting process. I got the starter pulled, exhaust is pulled, ended up breaking 3 studs. I heated them, did everything I could think of, but still broke them, so I'll have to fix that later. But I got the very bottom frame mounts out, hydraulic lines off. Made quite a mess, but that's okay. Now that I cracked the bottom frame bolts, they're like double. They hold the frame and the bell housing. It's leaking oil pretty good out of there, so it sure looks like engine oil to me, but I don't know. But we're gonna rig this thing up, pull these last top bell housing bolts out, then pull these frame bolts out, slide it apart. I had originally planned on, these bolts are threaded, I was gonna put some kind of stand on there to roll the front half, but I think it's just gonna be just as easy to put a floor jack under the back and slide it out. We're not talking about splitting a 1066 here. So we'll get the camera set up and we'll get set up to split this thing, see what happens. All right, all the bell housing bolts are out. I'm just gonna blow these frame bolts out. I got a jack under the back, winch on the front. See what happens. Gotta get a little bit further. Problem is now it's split so far, it's like that damn studs are so long. That's part of the problem. Try and get like I am, get a 1/2 inch tire, then we can slide right apart. Jack it up a little bit more then. That's right there. I can get a pry bar in there now. Yeah. You gotta be damn close. Well, I think we're just sliding the tractor on the jack. I think it's still pretty tight. Let me come down a little. Right there, it's just another half inch will be free. Try to jack up a little bit. Alright, just right on where the bolt is for the pressure plate. It's completely free. Need a pair of wires so I can get some more wires on here. Well, I guess the hour meter is probably right. Tax never gonna work. I think that's less than 1,000 hours on it. Really? Yeah. If you look, had a tune-up on 3/6 of 10, 856 hours.
I actually wrote it down.
Yeah, now it's got like 930 or something like that.
Are you actually doing that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Okay.
No more cases.
I think we're out of shit now. It's going to rotate your way. So, so I'll have to put her
You
so.
got a pry bar room? Oh,
Yeah.
stuff in that stuff.
We think the odds are we can roll this back a little bit. Oh, pretty good. Plenty of room to work. All right, got it split, got the clutch off. It's all engine oil in there. I believe this is supposed to be dry. Clear back to here, because you can see where the main shaft goes in, there's a seal. So I'm pretty confident we got a rear main seal leak. And if you look at the back of the crank here at the seal, it's pretty bad shape. So I'm gonna get a seal and I'm gonna look at clutches. See, flywheel's not terrible. The clutch isn't terrible either, but it's definitely, all that marking is like stains from oil leaking on it. The clutch disc is pretty saturated. I don't know if I'll try and clean it up or put a different one on. I guess we'll see what the cost is. I'm trying to do this on a budget because I don't plan on keeping this tractor long, just a get me by type deal, so we'll see what happens. All right, it's been a while, but it took me forever to get this seal for this thing. It finally came in the mail. Then it took me forever to get up here to work on this thing, but I'm off work today. We're gonna get something done. So I'm gonna pull that old seal out, drive that new seal in, put the flywheel and the clutch back on, see if we can slide this thing back together. Hopefully this fits over. Not quite. Not ideal seal installation for sure, but a snug fit. Now I know this isn't ideal, but the problem I had was all my sockets that were this size were so thick that the inside of the socket was hitting the back of the crankshaft. And if I got something to fit over the crankshaft, it was getting into this aluminum block. So it's in there. I think we'll be all right. Where's the switch at?
That's on.
It's not working. Oh, I see. I ain't as dumb as you thought I was.
Oh. Fucking dumb. Might have blown a break.
I thought I was just stupid, but
We're not going to dismiss that.
well, it happens. It happens to the best of us.
Fucking cold in here, man.
Yeah. I was gonna give you a 1-star review on Google because they're all the same length. I don't know what's up with these bolts. No, they're all the same.
I'm not too sure why it ain't.
There she is. Alright. Get these torqued to spec. I got no air. Got no air.
Kind of weird. Oh, you gotta push that blue thing forward.
Oh. Fancy. For some reason, I think these two holes are different. I'm gonna find it. Torque to spec now, we're good to go. So here's my next dilemma. I've never reinstalled a used clutch before. But what I think I'm going to do is clean this clutch up. I'm going to wrap tape on this extension, stick it in the pilot bushing, and then wrap around where the clutch discs rise so that I can try to do this with my hands. Kind of do something like that and have it all lined up where I need it. So I got Chris bringing me some tape because I forgot it, and we'll see what happens. All right, my line up tools kind of works. So I'm here working, everybody's in the background talking smack.
Love you.
It's hard to see where this thing's lined up at.
Yeah, but you don't see that.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
Like,
come here for a second, somebody.
we weren't invited to go to Thanksgiving and, you know, family.
It's right in front of my face, I know, but hold this like right there. I need to keep that. Now you're gonna have to switch hands.
Oh, shit.
Do you need another hand on
Hey, you can switch hands and then we'll line it back up before I put it on.
Okay.
Right there. It's not, doesn't work as good as having the right tool, but it works, I guess. Why won't it, the bolt start?
It's Blankenmeyer, is that right?
Yeah, it's 'cause it's recording, honey.
Okay. I probably won't
Nope.
You can't.
You're screwing my footage up by talking.
Yeah, you can't.
Chatterboxes.
We're gonna go. Love you.
Love you too.
I'll see you.
See ya.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna snug them two up. That ought to hold it.
Well, I'm not even holding anything, I don't think.
No, right about there. Okay, should be okay. Let it go now. All right, so we got the clutch back on. It was kind of a cluster because there's two different pressure plate bolts, and I remembered where they were on the flywheel. I didn't think it made a difference on the pressure plate, but the hole diameter is like, I mean, it's like a couple thousandths difference. So we couldn't get the bolts, so we had to take everything back apart, got it all lined up. It's on now, we're ready to try to slide this thing together, I guess. All right, here we go. It's the moment of truth. We're gonna see if this thing lines up or not. All right, hold on. Gotta go down this side. We're snapping gonna put the ratchet jack right. That one right there. There's one too. Try to come in and see the splines on. That's probably not where we find out the splines don't line up, I'm guessing. I'm gonna put this in gear and turn the motor over. Maybe we can like feel it. Like. All right. I turned the camera off because I figured I wasn't going to waste time while we were fighting with that. And as soon as I turned the camera off, it literally like slid together. So we got that all together. I got the bolts started for the framework. I gotta buzz them in. These studs that broke off, I'm just gonna chase these threads, get some new nuts, bolt that exhaust up. That shouldn't be no big deal. Gotta put the steering arm back on. Hydraulic lines, top off the hydraulic oil. And on this side we got air cleaner, throttle cable, choke cable, all, fuel line, all the normal, you know, stuff, but shouldn't be too bad. So I'm gonna keep plugging away at this stuff here, and hopefully either tonight or tomorrow we can get this thing fired up, test it out, see what happens. All right, we got everything buttoned down tight. The clutch feels really good, so I think we're good. So next is gonna be putting the starter in, wiring it up. Then we'll get everything on the other side hooked up, ready to go. I may end up doing the exhaust tomorrow and finishing it up. I gotta charge the battery still, I forgot. Some little stuff, but tomorrow we should be driving this thing around, I hope. See what happens. All right, so I think we're at our stopping point for the day. I mocked this exhaust up just to make sure I'd have enough meat. I tried backing these studs out, they weren't wanting to back out, so eventually I probably will fix it the right way if I keep this tractor, but for now, I'm just gonna chase these threads, run some nuts on there, hope for the best. Got the exhaust lined up, steering lined up, all the wiring's done, except for the headlights. I just couldn't get my fingers in there so when I close the hood I can unplug them a lot easier. Choke's hooked up. I filmed all this, but I'm probably gonna cut a lot of it out. It's gonna be a long video. Fuel line's hooked back up, throttle, choke, oil pressure sending unit. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but I don't know. So maybe that's a temp. That's probably your temp sensor, actually. I'm having a brain fart, but I started mocking up the hydraulic lines. I want to get some seals to seal the front. I don't like the setup they have going on there, but so I'll get everything I need gathered up. Tomorrow morning we'll start again on this thing, so we'll see you then. All right, we're back and we have some bad news. I was checking the oil today, and it smells like it's got fuel in the oil, so I don't know if the fuel pump diaphragm went bad or what. We're gonna drain it out and see exactly how much fuel's in it. Might have to hunt down a fuel pump for this or something, I don't know. All right, so we might have problems here. I got a bunch of, I was gonna change the oil while I was at it. It didn't smell like fuel before, but it sure smells like fuel now, so might be putting a fuel pump in this thing. Oh my. I'm no expert, that looks like a lot of gas to me. Alright, so here's where we're at now. I come up today, I got the hydraulic lines hooked up, except for that side and the back. I just need somebody to give me a hand with the pry bar, getting it lined up right. Apparently, when I got this thing, the oil checked out good. It looks really good, actually. Smelled good. Today, before I drained it, I just thought I'd check it just to see. It is almost straight gas now, so. Two things must have been happening. I guess we were leaking more oil than we thought. And then also, the diaphragm in this fuel pump must have went bad. Then after sitting, it just started pumping gas in the crankcase. I had a heck of a time finding a seal for this thing. The fuel pumps are MIA. I just can't find one. I did a quick look on the internet. What I think I'm gonna do, I was looking, some guys, they sell a kit for like $200 to bolt on here and put an electric fuel pump on it and it's all fancy and blah, blah, blah. We don't need all that. So I'm gonna go home and see if I can find an electric fuel pump, put a new line on here, filter, electric pump, rob power from the coil probably, and just go that route. Just do away with the other one. I'm gonna change the oil in it. That should be about it, except for fixing the exhaust. I'm debating right now. I may back this off and try to back these studs out and then just bolt it. I tried before, but I didn't try real hard to back the studs out, so we'll see. I do. This cover kind of is deceiving. It makes it look like there's not enough threads there, but there really is. It just bothers me that it's not ideal, so we'll just kind of see what happens, but I don't know. So this video is getting kind of long. I'm probably gonna have to break this up into a two-parter. So if you want to see if we get this thing going next week, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. But yeah, the cheapest tractor I could find. It looks like we might be okay on this thing. Have to see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys.